Hello, and welcome to the Unapologetically Unstoppable Women podcast. I'm here with Anne. Angie's not with us today, but she sends her love to everybody, and we will miss her. And I'm Lori, and we think we have a fun topic for today. It's think about and even write it down three things that you know you love to do. You know they bring you joy, but you haven't done them in a long, long time, maybe not even in years. And then also we're going to talk about why we think we're not doing them. And so hopefully this will give you some clarity so that you can maybe start blending this into your life, even if just in little snippets throughout your day or throughout your week, so that you can bring some more joy into your life and give yourself a little bit of a break. So, and Anne, you were telling me a great story before we started. So you want to start off?
So I have three things really quick on the off the top of my head because I always want to do these three things. One, I want to learn to play chess. I used to play with my brothers, and I want to learn to do that. And just the strategic thinking part of it because I make really fast decisions and I just go with them. And I think it would help me slow down a little bit and be more strategic. So I want to learn to play chess. And I used to play the piano. And I have found I can no longer read music and I don't remember the keys. I have to write. I literally have Sharpie notes written on the keys of my piano.
I love
But
it.
I want to do that because I think I've talked about this before. My mom died 4 years ago, and she used to play the piano, and I used to sit next to her, and she would play songs for me, and I would hear, and she'd rock, and like the hands would get moving, and it's just a fun memory. And she always seemed so happy. I'm like, okay, so I want to play the piano and just use that as a way to one, channel my inner mom, and two, just like learn again, kind of like that strategic thinking of playing chess. Remember the stuff I forgot because I used to play the flute and the piccolo and the piano, and now I can't even read music.
Oh, interesting,
So,
interesting. And you know what's funny is, yeah, as we were talking before we started recording, I also have a piano downstairs. I also want to learn to play the piano, but I haven't even opened the piano um, since I moved in here, which has been like 20 years.
oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. And there for a while in my old house, I would at least you know, play a little bit. I don't play. I mean, I don't have a history of playing, but very similarly, my mom played the piano. And we've had a piano since for as long as I can remember as a kid. And then she got an organ. I was so disappointed because an organ's just not the same. And then they switched back to a piano. But anyway, it's a long story.
No, that's too many levels.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly. So, but why don't we? I I know I'm not doing it because a, it seems like in order to actually play the piano, I have to practice on a regular basis. And I don't take the time to do that on a regular basis. And it's almost like I'm afraid to get started because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Start with the easy stuff.
Yes, yes, yes. And so then the next question is, that's just one. And I also, interestingly enough, my partner Dave, he's a big chess player, and he's got this little chess board. And we were out on the patio the couple weeks ago, and I'm like, teach me to play chess. I used to play chess a long time ago, and haven't played in a gazillion years. And he's very strategic. So he's like, well, I don't want to tell you what to do. I'm like, no, I want you to tell me what I should be doing and why, so I can learn the strategy as
Yeah.
well. So that was a lot of fun, but we haven't done it since. And yeah, I'd like to do that more often because exactly what you're saying, it keeps the brain young or at least working, right?
Well, and I
Working
think
some of
it
these
helps
parts.
in so many, like I said, just decision making, especially if I guess either way, like me, I'm a super fast decision maker. I work with people who struggle to make a decision, that's not better. So if you can figure out the strategy of why won't I make a decision, or is this fast decision, do I need to slow down a little bit and not make a super fast decision? So that's
Yeah.
my interest in it for sure.
Yeah. Okay. And that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I am one of those that, if going to the decision making, I'm one of those that I just I take a long time to make a decision. Sometimes. Sometimes, do you ever have that, like you just know it's the right thing? Like just in your body, in your heart, in your soul, you're like, this is the right decision for me. And then there are times it's like, I don't know. And I'll get a piece of paper and I'll pros and cons and all that fun, silly stuff.
So I have found on decision making, if I'm struggling to make a decision, it's usually because I just don't care that much about the answer.
Oh,
So the important stuff I can knock out really fast. And if it's something that really could be important, but it's okay if it's not important, I don't make a fast decision. And that's when I'm like, I'll just defer to somebody else. If I can hand that off, I'm like, just tell me what to do because I don't really care.
yeah, yeah, I hear you. Yeah. And then, there's a fear of, well, what if it doesn't go like we were talking earlier, FOMO, fear of missing out, or fear of what's going to go wrong. And oh my gosh, am I going to make this decision and then my life's going to turn upside down? I don't know. But there's always a little bit of fear because you don't know what's going to happen. So, but
And one thing I have learned is I don't care if I'm wrong. Like, I don't
I
care if it
love
doesn't
that.
go well. It's I'm like, all right, well, that because there's either part of it works, so don't do this part again or whatever. I like more that I acted necessarily than I am concerned about the outcome. I mean, certainly I want my decisions to work out. I want, the money to be made or the business to grow or whatever I'm trying to accomplish. But if I make mistakes along the way, that doesn't bother me at all. I'm like, okay, next, moving on.
I love that. That is beautiful. That there is very wise wisdom. So you got a double wisdom.
It also means I make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, but what you said is you don't care if you make those mistakes.
Mm-mm.
You move on. And too often, and I know I'm guilty of this, I look back and it's like, oh, why did I do that? That was so stupid. I kind of ruminate over it. And that's not a good thing to do either. So you are a very wise woman, just make the decision. If it doesn't work out, move on. And a lot of times our bad decisions actually help us to grow.
Correct. Because you don't
Yes,
learn when everything goes right and it's easy all the time. You don't learn anything from that.
right.
So, and I
Um,
can't say that I never take hindsight and go, oh, I wish I would have done that, or I wish I would have that, or that really affected my bank account. I do that.
yeah,
That I'm not immune from that, not even at all. I just don't let it stop me from making a fast decision again the next time.
yeah. And it's good to look back and learn from that. Absolutely,
Right. So what's
absolutely.
your third one? So
Ah,
you've got
yeah.
playing the piano. Did you so chess as well?
Yeah, I would like to, but I would say I would like to go outside more and work in my yard. It's really hot right now, so that's one of the reasons I don't do it. But there are some beautiful days where I'm just, I don't know why I don't go out there. But I don't want to say force myself, but yeah, force myself to get outside. I'm loving it. I'm in my element. I'm one with nature. And I feel so good, and it's so uplifting. So, and but why I don't just, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. I don't understand why it's difficult sometimes, not all the time, sometimes for me to just do it. And I think it's habits, the habits we have from the winter, and we're inside all the time and you kind of get that comfy feeling inside. I don't know. I'll have to do a little meditating on that question.
Especially since that's one of the things you talk about all the time is how you love to be outside.
I know. And it just, so we had some, my next door neighbor, he's a young kid, he's amazing. And he's got all this heavy equipment and we were pulling out some old shrubs that were dying. And I just stood out there and I watched and I was just like, I was in heaven just seeing this, the I don't know. It's hard to explain, but and then it was like hotter than all get out. And I was still out there cleaning up the mud and all that stuff. And there's more to do, but yeah, I don't understand.
Well, add it to your list then, because I know that brings you joy. So my
Yes.
third one is drawing. I used to stay up when I was a kid and I would draw into the wee hours of the night until the fluorescent
Mm.
lights made my nose bleed. And then it was like, okay, time to go to bed. But I drew my logo for my company. I
Did you?
did my own logo, the picture of me that's in the big logo. And it was just fun. It reminded me, and I went to do something the other day, and because I'm kind of still in a state of disarray as I'm renovating my office space, I can't find any of my drawing stuff. Because I was
Oh,
like, hey, I'm going to do this for a friend. I have a friend who had a pet die. I'm like, I'm going to draw a picture of his pet. And just as a surprise, one is good practice. Anyway, I thought it would be fun. And if it didn't turn out, no big deal. It was going to be a surprise anyway. But I can't find my stuff. So,
oh. You definitely have that creative flair. I didn't know you drew your own logo and all that. That is so amazing. And that's where you get the music and all that. And you know what? That creative music, drawing, all that is so healing. It really is. I mean, even being out in the yard for me, doing these things that we love can be so healing. And we should prioritize them, but we don't always.
yeah, we get caught up in the have to do's and we look at the things I think that we want to do and well they're less important. I'm like if you don't do the things you want to do, like you're going to be prioritizing your life very differently when I mean Angie talks about being in the hospital when she got stressed out. You've been super stressed out
Right.
before. I've
Yes.
so yeah, we do have to do these things. It's not just a luxury. We need to do the things that we enjoy and remind ourselves what it does for us.
Yes. Yes. Now, one of the things that I love to do that I don't make time necessarily every day, but I love to read. And whether it's right now, I'm reading a Perry Mason book.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, yeah, and some of you folks watching this may not even know who Perry Mason is. It's like way, way back, and I remember, and it goes back to my childhood.
hmm
Mom and Dad loved watching Perry Mason. I hated it because as a kid, you don't understand what's going on. I'm like, this is boring. And then I saw it on TV here locally all of a sudden. I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. And then I've got a couple of the books. And it's just so much fun because it also brings back those memories
hmm
from my childhood. But I also read books on, the why woo woo works, that kind of stuff. And I just love to read. And so I don't necessarily schedule it, but I do read a lot, which is good
That's
for
good. I
me.
grew up reading. Well, I mean, you had one TV with three channels back then. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't do as much of it anymore. And if I do, I'm going to do it Audible instead of have it. If I like it, then I'll buy the physical book and I'll go and highlight my stuff. But I rarely read for pleasure. Like I
Well,
constantly am reading work related, leadership related, business related, all of that stuff. That's my
yeah.
primary focus. I mean, for
Yeah.
obvious reasons, but
Right, right. Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. There I had another, but yeah, so any wisdom on maybe why we're not doing these things that
I
we
just think it
love
kind
to
of goes
do?
back to what I was just saying. We get caught up in what the world tells us we have to do or what we think our life should look like. And I think it feels maybe selfish if, like, no, I'm going to spend an
Right.
hour playing the piano or you're not very good at that. I don't know why you're spending time doing that. That voice of why are you just go watch TV, go do something else. Don't do that. You're not even good at it. The voice in our heads. I think there's a lot of reasons, but I do think we need to prioritize. I mean, if there's something we want to do it.
Yes, schedule it in. I'm bad about I can put things on my calendar, but if it is something that is truly optional, like going downstairs and practicing piano, I don't take my calendar seriously. So I can put, I've heard people say time and time again, put it on your calendar, put it on your calendar. But to me, my calendar is optional because in my 40 years in corporate, it was always optional unless I had an actual meeting.
Yeah.
But, blocking time to get XYZ done, no, because the boss or a sales rep would come in and say, nope, you got to do this. You got to do this instead. So I have to get over that. But it's 40 years of that. It sits with you for a while. But yeah, I just, if I may, one of the reasons why I brought this topic up this morning was because last night, so I'm a Reiki master, and last night, every second Wednesday, a group of us Reiki practitioners will go to the local cancer support center and share Reiki with whoever wants to come. And then we also get to receive the Reiki as well.
Okay.
And yeah, so my friend Sarah was sharing Reiki with me, and afterwards she's like, Lori, you've got to start doing things that you love to do. She said, you are like, she was like, the energy was just so stuck, so, twisted, I guess. And that made me think, I do take time to do things I love to do, but I also waste a lot of time doing things that are
Yeah.
not are not healthy, or they're not serving me in any way, shape, or form. So that was an eye opener for me. And I was like, yeah, she's right. She's right.
Interesting. And I don't understand anything about Reiki, but just to have somebody point out, and it doesn't even have to be in that, a friend just going, oh my gosh, you look so happy when you're doing X or something, go, oh yeah. Like I remember I have to laugh. I think I've talked about this before. I have to laugh. And I remember it was probably 2 years, 2 or 3 years after my brothers died that my daughter said, Mom, that's the first time I've heard you laugh since the boys died. I was like, wow. Like you just don't think about the things that you need and your body needs and they bring you joy until somebody points it out. So if she took the time to point it out, I think you need to at least pick one of those three things on your list and start
Yes.
doing it. Give yourself some joy. And
Yes.
listeners, like put in the
Yes.
chat, tell us what brings you joy, what's your stoppage. I've been watching too much soccer. What's your stoppage that keeps you from doing the things that you love to do? What gets in the way? Let us know.
Absolutely. And set a time that for you to go and do it, or commit to yourself
Yes.
for some of that healing of doing what you love to do. And I love that you talked about laughter because you can make yourself laugh. And if you just start laughing, if anybody's ever done laughter yoga, you kind of force a laugh for the first 30 seconds. And then after that, it gets easier and easier. And before you know it, you're like rolling over laughing, your belly hurts. That is so healing.
Yep. Some people like a good cry. I like a good laugh.
Me too. Me too.
Well, I
So,
love this topic. I'm so glad you brought it up, and I can't wait to hear what
thank
people
you.
come up with.
Yes, I agree. I agree. So, ladies, remember, or gentlemen, because we do have some
We
some
do.
men
We
who
do.
watch. We love it. Yeah, put it in the chat as Ann said. Let us know. um, what turns you on that you ain't doing. All right. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.